Hello and welcome to the Virtual Cheese Awards. My name is Bruce MacDonald and I'm moderating this class of judging, which is Class A1, Creamery Mature Cheddar. Our judges are Chris Dawson and Terry Hudson, and they will now introduce themselves, starting with Terry, please.
Hello, I'm Terry Hudson. I've been in the dairy industry for around 50 years. During that time, I've made pretty much all of the territorial cheeses and cheddars, and I've been fortunate enough to travel around the globe experiencing how cheese is made around the world. I know most of the UK farmhouse and creamery cheese makers, and I've also interfaced with the major retailers in the UK. I've judged at shows for around 30 years.
And Chris?
Hello, my name is Chris Dawson. I'm the cheese buyer at Marks and Spencer's. I've been in the cheese industry now for 18 years and have developed a real passion for this category over the years. I've been privileged enough to travel extensively around both the UK and Europe, visiting the majority of cheesemakers in the UK and certainly quite a few across Europe, and have worked with many of the best cheesemakers. I've tasted and judged extensively over many years at the different cheese shows, and I'm looking forward to trying this mature creamery cheddar class.
Yeah, it should be very interesting. So first up, we have cheese 1024. For those of you who are just joining us, we're going to look at the score, the appearance, the aroma, texture, flavour, and how true to character the cheese is. So cheese 1024.
Well, it's uniform. It's free from any discoloration on the surface. It's very close texture, typical of a factory-made cheddar. Probably a little bit too close. I would like to see a few calcium lactate crystals on it, being a mature cheese, which is usually an indication of age. So what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, on the face of it, it looks a very well made cheese. You're right to say it's really close textured. I think we would probably expect more open texture. Certainly when you cut it with the knife, it's certainly got, it's firm. I think 7 out of 10 in terms of appearance.
Yeah,
That's fine. So the next criteria is the aroma. At this point, we now know we need sniffer vision.
Yeah, probably a bit disappointing on aroma for a mature cheese. I was expecting a bit more of a pungent aroma.
I think considering it's a mature cheddar, you would expect a lot more aroma coming off this. This is really low level. There's just not much going on.
Yeah.
So I would give it a 5 for aroma.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I mean, early indications are it's lacking the lactate, it's lacking flavour, it's quite bland on the aroma. So
Okay.
we'll see what it was like.
Yeah. Texture?
Texture, well, it is smooth and creamy. I would expect it to be a little bit more brittle for a mature cheese. This isn't brittle at all. It's still smooth and creamy and buttery, which is not really what I expect on a mature cheese.
When you cut through it, it's certainly quite firm. So, it promises, as if it's got a good texture. But when you try and break it down, I got the real characteristic that it's quite rubbery. And then it went from rubbery to very smooth and pasty. which again I wouldn't expect from a mature cheddar like this, where you would expect a more open texture, a more flinty character. So I'm going to downscore this for those reasons and give it a 5.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay, and for flavour?
Yeah, to me it's sadly lacking flavour, and it hasn't really got what I would consider a nice flavour. There's no savoury or sweet or.
My view here is it's got really poor flavour. It's quite doughy on the upfront palate. I'm not getting any richness, no savouriness, no sweetness, and then towards the back of the palate, I'm just getting a sour flavour coming through quite strongly, and it's leaving. The end feeling is it's quite harsh, and it's just quite unbalanced, and there's not something I've wished to go back for another piece.
No,
I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, I was picking up slight bitterness as well, so no, I agree with Chris on that one. So 4.
Okay, and true to character.
Well, it's very disappointing in summary.
Yeah.
I would give it a 4.
You agree with that, Chris? Yeah.
Agreed,
Very
yes.
good.
Let's
That
move
one
on.
done then. Okay, we shall move on to 1130.
So it's uniform colour. It's a nice yellow colour. There's no acid spots or mottling, so it looks like a well balanced cheese when it was made. Again, there's no lactate crystals, but they're not mandatory to have lactate crystals. So appearance, I would give it a 7 really, because I can't see a great deal wrong with it.
Hey, what do you think, Chris?
I think for me this is too close textured for a mature cheddar. The texture is actually incredibly smooth. And there's only a slight bit of openness on the main face of the cheese, but the actual cut face, there's virtually nothing going on. So for me, texture-wise, I would expect it to be far more open, far more flinty. I think it's a 6.
6 for appearance.
I'm assuming this is made on a block former tower, which is pressed under vacuum, so which doesn't help if you want openness. So
no, because it is Creamery mature cheddar, not traditional.
But Terry, you'll know as well as I do, there are many Creamery mature cheddars that do have a lovely flinty texture.
Yeah.
Maybe this has been overpressed. I don't know. We'll see what it's like when we taste it.
Yeah.
So what's this score for appearance going to be? We've got
I think we got 1.8 and 1.6.
Yeah.
So shall we go for 7?
Fine. Let's go for the 7.
Yeah.
Compromise, yeah.
We'll see what the other aspects are. So
for aroma.
Aroma, well, again, I think it's clean, but I would expect a bit more about it for a mature.
Are you the same, Chris? Are you?
Yes, it's just clean on the nose. You've got those sort of creamery, buttery, milky notes, but it's very low level. You know.
So really, it's clean aroma, lacks strength.
Yes, so I think
So you
6 for me on the aroma because it is low level.
So you give it. Sorry, I missed your score there.
6. Yeah, I agree because it is it's too low for a mature.
Yep. Okay. Moving on to texture.
Well, it has got the flinty texture that we've talked about, but it hasn't got a lot else.
I think for me 7 for texture.
Yeah,
you know, certainly firm. You know, so that's I would expect quite a firm cheese for mature. We've tasted many, historically mature cheddars which will be high moisture, whereas this feels quite a low moisture. Certainly quite a bit of body there. Probably not as much flintiness as I'd expected, but that's why I'd give it a 7.
And you would give it, Terry, 7 as well, yeah? Okay, flavour?
it has got some flavour, but I would say it was more of a medium flavour than a mature.
Yeah, which follows on from your comment about the aroma.
It's lacking character. Again, when you say it's a mature cheese, you're expecting quite a nice aroma, complexity of flavour, lots of it. But it's a bit disappointing.
So if I said lacking flavour, strength, and complexity,
I was to give it a 6 in terms of flavour at best. I think it has a bit of upfront richness coming through, and then it dissipates very, very quickly, and you're just left with nothingness. It just finishes really quick. I'm not encouraged to go back for the second piece.
No.
Okay, so score for flavour would be?
Flavour, well, I would say a 6 personally, because it to me it isn't a mature, and we're looking at mature cheeses.
How do you score it, Chris?
Yeah, no, I said already I thought it was a 6.
Okay, so you agreed on that. And yes. True to character.
Well, not for a mature cheese. I would say a 6 because it isn't a disastrous cheese. There's nothing overly wrong with it, but it isn't a mature cheese.
Chris?
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Agreed.
Okay, we can then move on to the next one, which is 1140.
Got some slight openness here, Chris.
Yes, indeed. I was going to say slightly flinty on the appearance, open texture, and some lovely calcium crystals coming to the surface. So for me, I think in terms of appearance, I'll probably give it an 8.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's good cheese. It's uniform colour, nice yellowy colour. And like Chris said, it's got the calcium lactate on the surface, which is a good indication.
Excellent. Aroma.
there's certainly far more aroma going on than the previous couple of cheeses. Almost slightly fruity aroma on the nose, maybe a bit of acidity, maybe slightly meaty on the nose, Terry.
Yeah. There is more complexity about the aroma, and there's more about it than we've had previously.
I'm leaning towards an 8 on the aroma.
Yeah.
Okay, I've said it's what did I put? Slightly fruity, meaty on the nose. Yep. So that's. Yeah, I mean, yeah, these cheeses should be more complex, shouldn't they? Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm judging. I'm not the judge. Carry on, chaps. Next part, texture.
We understand your sentiment there, Bruce. In terms of texture, it's flinty first and foremost. It does come off in, when you start breaking it up, it comes off in shards. And yet, there's enough moisture in there, to break it down and to work it between your fingers without it collapsing.
Yeah, I think the texture's very good. Personally, like you say, the break is very good when it snaps off nicely, revealing the flinty texture. And when you work it between the fingers, it comes together very nicely.
My feeling here is an 8 for texture.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, fine, Terry. Chris, thank you. So, flavor.
That's more what I would call a mature cheese. There's lots going on around the palate. I'm picking up sweet and savoury, but not overpowering.
No, I've suggested it's more of a modern cheddar. So it's going to be sweet dominant, but not sweet sickly. There's a nice, Terry referred to the savoury character coming through. There's a nice balance coming through there of savoury characteristics. But it's got that lovely rich flavour on the front of the palate. And it starts, you get that, it starts waking up the taste buds at the side of the mouth here. It is quite more. There's a real nice hint of umami coming through in this cheese.
Yeah, there's a slight acidity there, which is nice to add complexity.
Yeah.
So no, it's a very nice cheese all round.
I think for flavour, I'd give it a 9.
Yeah, I do like the flavour. It is very Moorish.
Excellent. And true to character.
Yeah, well, that's what we're looking for. So
it's certainly the best cheddar that we've seen on the table in this class so far.
Yeah,
and I'm really inclined to give it probably 8.5.
To leave us some headroom for this.
Yes, in case we may come back and score it slightly higher, but we've got to leave ourselves some headroom.
Yeah, you may find the golden child somewhere. So 8.5.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Excellent.
Very nice cheese.
So next up is 1144.
Yeah. So appearance, again, it's got the calcium lactate. It's got mechanical openness, the slits. It's got good body. I know we're not judging the body, but appearance-wise, I think it's looking pretty good.
Okay, so what score would you give it?
Well, I'm happy to give it a 7.
Yeah, I was just going to say 7 for that.
7, fine. So, and for Aroma?
I would say it's meaty and brothy on the nose. Certainly, I'm expecting to get quite a bit of sweetness when we eat this cheese. It depends on the balance between that savoury and sweet flavour characteristic. I think on the aroma, probably 7.5. I'm just not convinced it's an 8.
Yeah. I mean, there certainly isn't any off flavors or taints there.
No.
And it's got a nice cheesy aroma, but like Chris said, it might just be a little bit too sweet, but you don't know until you go to the flavor.
Okay, so that's fine.
I think sometimes that meatiness can be the giveaway sign that it's going to be uber sweet.
Yeah. So texture.
It's slightly weaker in body than a couple of the previous ones we've seen.
I have to say that it is a bit weaker than the previous cheese. So not quite as good as the previous one in terms of body and.
Yeah, the previous one scored an 8.
Pardon? Yeah.
Previous one scored 8.
Yeah. Well, this one, it's a bit mushy to me when I start looking at it. I would say it's a 6.
Yeah, 6 with me.
Okay, and flavor.
As predicted, for me, it's just uber sweet. I'm not getting that savoury balance coming through. I'm finding it a bit sickly, a bit claggy in the mouth.
Yeah, it hasn't.
It's clean in the sense that there's no off flavours, but it's quite one-dimensional in terms of that sweetness. So I think 6 for me on flavour.
Yeah, I was going to say it hasn't got the complexity the previous one had. It to me, it's leaving quite a harsh note at the back of the throat. And initially, it's that sweet note, so it lacks complexity apart from, like Chris said, the one-dimensional flavour. But it is I mean, the cheese again is not a disaster. It's not a terrible cheese. But
we all know here that for many customers, this cheese would be perfectly acceptable. It would be a really nice eat for them, because the modern trend is towards uber sweet cheddars. So I think it would tick the box for many consumers. It's just not a classic cheddar.
Okay, so character, true to character, score.
I would go for a 7 really, because it's not a bad cheese. I know Chris will go for a 6, but
what
will Chris go for?
I'll go for a 6 because I think it's just too one-dimensional, and I look for more of a balance and complexity.
Do you want to go for a 6.5 compromise?
Yeah, go on. We can always come back again. So
okay.
Right, I'll just.
1165 next. Is that what you've got?
Yes, 1165. Yeah.
Well, initial observation, there's no bleaching or mottled, there's no acid spots or anything like that, but it's lacking any calcium lactate, which again is not compulsory to have, but it's usually an indication of a more mature cheese. It's got slight open mechanical slits. I mean, it's not great, but I would give it a 6 personally. I don't know what Chris thinks.
I'm inclined to agree here. 6. You know, it looks okay. It just doesn't look an exciting prospect.
Mm.
So
aroma.
Appearance. The score for appearance.
6.
6. Right. Aroma.
Yeah, well, again, to me, it's lacking any strength in the aroma. I would be expecting a lot more of a mature cheese.
You know, for me, this is coming across more as a medium rather than mature.
Yeah.
And in terms of aroma, it has low level dairy aromas, cheesy aromas. It really is low level. 5.
5. Are you the same, Terry?
Yeah, no, I'd agree, because it's there's nothing bad about it. There's no off flavour.
Yeah.
But it's just bland.
It's not a great thing to say that it's lacking strength of aroma, is it? So moving on to texture.
Well, it's the sort of texture I would expect of a sort of mild medium cheese almost, because it's smooth and creamy. It doesn't seem to have the body you'd expect of a mature. So it has got the little bit of a chicken breast type texture or flinty texture, but
6.
Yeah, I'd say 6 again.
Yeah, it's not a classic mature texture. It's just too smooth, too supple, not enough body.
Too smooth and creamy. Is that a fair comment? Too smooth and creamy texture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, flavour.
Well, again, it's sadly lacking any. It's certainly not strong enough for a mature cheese. It would be struggling as a medium cheese, in my opinion. It's difficult to pick up any complexity because there's no strength in any of them.
I mean, I've just put that into it. The comments lacks flavour strength. So what score would you give it for that?
Well, personally, I would give it a 5 because it's.
Yeah, I thought you would be down there.
It's not a mature cheese, basically.
You in the same place, Chris?
I'm going to 4.4. I'm getting quite a lot of sharpness and acidity, and it's out of balance. You know, that's what I'm left with in the mouth at the end of the palate, and yeah, no, I'm just not. I just don't like this cheese.
Right. So we have a 4 and a 5. So shall I go 4.5?
Yeah.
And character, true to character.
Not mature cheese. I would say 4 because it's in the wrong place, I think.
Yeah. 4. Are you okay with that, Chris?
Yes. No, go with that.
Okay, that's that one done. Moving on to 1166.
So we've got some calcium crystals on this one. We've got some slight openness. What are you seeing on your piece, Chris?
Yeah, no, similar to yourself, we've got low level calcium lactates, a few slits. It's quite close textured. What I've got when you cut into it.
Yeah.
So for me, from appearance wise, 6.5.
Yeah.
Terry?
Yep. I'd agree.
Okay, yeah. Aroma.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I was expecting a bit more about it. But I mean, my cheese samples are not cold because they've been out of the fridge for a couple of hours. Well, quite a few hours now, but there's no real flavour. You know what you'd expect from a mature cheese with bags of.
Yes, I've put down slightly lacking aroma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the aroma is 5. I think the look of the cheese with the calcium lactate promises more, and then on the nose, it's just, you know, you're just looking for it, and you're not seeing it.
So would you give it 5 as well, Terry?
Yes. Yeah. Disappointing.
Okay. Okay. So texture.
I would say the texture's okay. I mean, it's nothing to shout about, but it's probably a bit too smooth and creamy. Again, with a mature cheese, you're expecting more body and a more of a flinty texture that wouldn't give you this smooth, buttery texture.
Yep.
My view entirely, I'd give it a 6 at best.
God, I was going to go for a 5 then, Chris. But
no. To be honest, I'm happy to agree on the 5. You know, because it is so smooth and supple.
Yep, 5 it is. That's gone in. Flavour.
it's got some flavour there, but it's only around a medium at best.
So it lacks flavour.
It lacks flavour. There's no real complexity there. I can pick up a little bit of sweetness, but overall it just lacks any excitement, any flavour.
Okay. Oops, I should spell that correctly. That would help. Heck. So score for flavour?
Well, personally, I would go for a 5. Disappointed.
I think, Chris.
So it's got quite a. I think it's got, for me, quite a bit of upfront flavour. You know, you think, oh, it's rich, it's sweet. I'm certainly getting quite a bit of sweetness and Helveticus coming back through there, and then the flavour just disappears almost as quickly as it came. So yeah, happy with the 5. There's no savouriness there. It is again one-dimensional.
Yeah, with a very quick finish.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 for that. Fine. And moving on to 1174.
Do you want to just do character?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, true to character.
Well, overall, I would give it a 6, personally.
Yeah, go with 6. It's a modern cheddar.
Okay.
The last one. 116.
Yes. 1174.
1174. Getting buried in cheese here. You can see the marks of the guillotine where it was sliced. What do you think about appearance, Chris?
You've certainly got a more open texture here, and you've got, you know, a low-level calcium lactate presence. You've got some flintiness and a little bit of free moisture. I'm finding. Six.
Yes, yeah. Where you finding the free moisture on the surface or in the curd itself?
I found a little bit in the curd.
In the curd, right? Okay. I can't see any, but
6 you said for that. Did you agree on 6?
6, yes.
Yep. Okay. Aroma.
I'm finding it quite low level aroma. I would have expected more. It's clean. You know, there's nothing on the nose to say that it's not going to be a pleasant eat, but it's not promising me as much as I would have hoped. 5.
Yeah. There's again, like a few of these, there's not enough there really, not enough about it, so it's lacking in aroma.
Okay, and texture.
It's a little. The body's a little bit weak for a mature.
Yeah. The knife goes through the cheese quite easily. It breaks down really quickly. It's almost moist in the fingers. It's quite a moist cheese. Doesn't come across as mature. Or if it is, it's a higher moisture mature.
Yeah. So score for texture?
Yeah, well, I'd say 5. But
Agreed.
Yeah, I thought you might be there. Flavor. Flavor.
Flavor. Yeah. Again, this is one of those overly sweet cheeses.
Overly sweet.
One-dimensional. Haven't got the savoury balance. It's just lacking complexity. It's lacking that fruity acidity that we talked about earlier, which gets you in the sides of the mouth, which really wants you to go back for the second piece and the third piece. It's lacking that. A 5 for me for flavour.
You the same, Terry?
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Yep, 5. And character, true to character?
Well, I would say 5, really, because it's not a great example of mature cheese, mainly because of the flavour. I didn't think it had any character.
Yeah, are you there as well, Chris, are you?
Yes, yeah.
Right, that's that class judged. We do have a clear winner. So second and third are close, but I don't think we need to review them because the winner is way ahead of them. Are you happy enough with that? And it's 1140. Winner?
Yeah.
With 1144 being second and 1130 being third.
A very worthy winner. was a very, very good cheese.